Okay, we got a lot of chats here from Atlantis, but they got a dog in their profile picture, so we're gonna entertain it. Atlantis says, "Isn't the entire existence of Bitcoin that it's to protect you from poor monetary system?" Yeah, I would say so. As in, money printing is expected, which higher inflation is to come soon. This isn't a good thing. Continued. Who's buying Bitcoin at 75K? Are you? Yes. Of course. I'm not buying one Bitcoin, but every time I have any sort of fake money, I exchange it for real money. Or large companies, honestly, I'd like to understand the Bitcoin correlation to inflation. When inflation was at its peak, Bitcoin, well, I mean, it also depends what you're using for your inflation metrics. Like if you're listening to the bullshit numbers that they tell you on CBC, CNN, then yeah, maybe inflation peaked a while ago. But if you go to the fucking grocery store, we're peaking by the week here. One bag of chips here in Canada, one big bag of chips, $8 in a gas station. $8. So I kind of see what you're saying, but here, inflation is signs of weakening or weakling coming down, which brought Bitcoin to lows. But now we are seeing Bitcoin rise. Isn't this a bad sign for average Americans? I mean, yeah, Bitcoin is like, it's as perfect as Bitcoin. It's as close to perfect as it can be. It's not going to disperse perfect equalization between everybody. Nobody ever said it was going to. The whole point of Bitcoin is to remove the central banks, to separate money from state, to get rid of the central banks. That's the whole point of Bitcoin. And it's the central banks, it's a small group of people who got us here with inflation because they had access to a money printer. With fiat, with centralized monetary systems, with central banks, they create money out of thin air. They don't even have to fucking print it anymore. They just add zeros on their computers. That's the problem. That's the problem. And with Bitcoin, you cannot print Bitcoin. Trump can't print Bitcoin. Vladimir Putin can't print Bitcoin. Michael Saylor can't print Bitcoin. That's not the point of it. And I hope Atlantis is still in the chat here. But what else was I going to say on that? It's bad for the average American who are saving in fiat. If you're either holding your money in fiat, your savings in fiat, or if you don't have any savings, yes, it's going to be very bad for you for a while. Bitcoin can't cure everything. But if you're choosing to either save in Bitcoin, like if you have any excess cash, you put it into Bitcoin, that's going to protect your purchasing power through the inflation. And if you have assets, if you have real estate, if you have stocks, if you have bonds, if you have any sort of asset, gold, silver, it's been going up with inflation. But cash has not. So if you're saving in cash and fiat, you're going to get smoked. No president's going to be able to change that. There's $36 trillion in debt, billions of dollars in interest every day. There's no stopping it. It cannot be stopped. It's a debt spiral. So the only thing, and this is the whole point of this show, this channel, is to try to explain that to people, that you should be saving your energy, your time and energy in Bitcoin. Kyle, nation state adoption it's not even close to priced in yet. It's not even close to being priced in yet at all. Stephen Curran. I thought it was Steve Curry was in the house today. Or is it Steve? Steve Curry? No, who am I thinking of? Steve Curry. Stephen Curry. Who's the basketball player? I don't know. That looks like an NBA